Imagine this: someone you trusted, someone you called your spouse, looks you dead in the eye and tells you, no man would ever want to sleep with you. Yep, that happened. And now, 3 years later, Danielle is about to step back into the dating world for the first time with a blind date. How does someone even begin to trust love again after being told something that cruel? Would you even try? Honestly, I don't know if I could, but Danielle is about to prove that even the most shattered confidence can take a leap and maybe, just maybe, find something real. Before we dive into the chaos, the heartbreak, and the first kisses, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Why? Because stories like this, raw, emotional, messy, don't just come along every day. You're not going to want to miss a second. Danielle is 47, from Sandusky, Ohio, and for years, she's felt trapped by words she can't unhear. Her ex-husband didn't just hurt her feelings, he attacked her self-esteem in the worst possible way. And guess what? It stuck. How many of us carry around the toxic voice of someone who was supposed to love us? Too many. And that voice has the power to stop you from living your life. 3 years single. Rebounds that didn't work. Isolation in a small Ohio town where the only consistent company is Penny, her dog. And let's be honest, Penny is the best part of her life, but she takes up half the bed. If you've ever been unlucky in love, you know exactly the feeling Danielle is fighting against. That mix of hope and terror, and the nagging doubt that maybe love just isn't for you anymore. But Danielle isn't done yet. She's about to step into a blind date scenario where literally everything could go wrong. And let's be honest, if it goes wrong, the voice of her ex will probably start whispering all over again. See, no one wants you. So here's where it gets interesting. Danielle's first blind date in years is with Jason. Yes, a total stranger. And yes, she's nervous. I mean, after everything she's been through, who wouldn't be? She shows up, nervous energy bouncing off the walls, and boom, the first interaction is awkward. Jason's polite, quiet, trying to make conversation, and Danielle is in full, on panic mode. You know that feeling when you're trying to be charming but your brain is screaming, "Don't mess this up!" Yeah, that's her. Now, here's the kicker: there's tension, humor, and subtle victory all in one. Jason compliments her outfit, she flubs a joke, and for a moment magic happens. A spark. But wait, she's constantly thinking about her past. That ex, Muhammad, those cruel words, the betrayal. Does she trust this guy? Can she even let herself? The suspense is real, folks. You can almost feel her heartbeat through the screen. At the same time, Jason is showing his own awkward charm. He's not perfect, but he's making an effort. And that's where it gets juicy. Because viewers love this tension. Will chemistry win over fear? Will Danielle's old wounds sabotage what could be a fresh start? Here's where I want you to pause and think. If you were in her shoes, would you let yourself open up? Or would you walk away before even trying? Drop a comment below. I want to hear your take, because this is where the story starts to loop tension, right? We're dangling on the edge of a moment that could be everything. Quick poll. Have you ever gone on a blind date after a major breakup? Comment yes or no. We're about to see Danielle's first go, and I promise you, it's not what you expect. Hypothetical. What would you do if someone treated you like Danielle's ex did, but then reappeared years later trying to act nice? Would you bite, ignore, or cautiously forgive? Here's a secret Danielle hasn't told many people. She's terrified of being rejected again, but also secretly excited. And that, my friends, is the kind of raw, forbidden insight that keeps you glued to a story. Right as Danielle sits down, Jason cracks a joke that makes her laugh. You think that's small? Think again. That laugh is the first crack in her wall. But just when things start to feel light, her mind drifts back to Muhammad, the heartbreak, the cruel words that she's been carrying for years. And that's where? How does a woman who's been broken for so long navigate a blind date that could change everything? Stay tuned, because if you think first dates are awkward, wait until you see how the next chapter unfolds. All right, picture this: Danielle is sitting across from Jason, a man she's never met before. Her heart is racing, her palms are sweating, and that little voice in her head is screaming, "Don't mess this up! Don't mess this up!" Sound familiar? Yeah, we've all been there. But here's the twist. Jason seems genuinely interested. He's asking questions, listening, even making little jokes. Now, here's a secret you might not realize. The tiniest spark on a first date can flip a person's entire mindset. Danielle laughs once, and that's it. The floodgates of hope start to open. But tension alert, her past is lurking in the shadows, whispering, "You can't trust him. he'll leave just like before. Before we go further, quick thought, have you ever felt your heart betray your brain like that? Comment below, let's see if your team. Heart says yes, brain says no. So, they start talking. Small talk, right? The weather, where they're from, favorite hobbies. Jason tries to lead the conversation, but Danielle is nervous, stumbling over her words. You know that classic first date panic? Yeah, that's peak Danielle energy. And then it happens. Jason compliments her. Not the generic "you look nice," but something specific about her smile. Boom. Cue butterflies. Audience, you're feeling it too, aren't you? That tiny compliment. It's like throwing a match into dry kindling. But the loop tension kicks in. Danielle remembers Muhammad, her ex, the cruelest words, the betrayal. Every compliment, every smile from Jason is undercut by the fear that she's not worthy of this. And that's where this story hooks you. The push-pull between hope and fear, excitement and insecurity. Audience check. How many of you have felt that fear on a first date after heartbreak? Go ahead, comment. I want the raw truths. You're about to see Danielle fight that fear head-on. No. Here's where it gets interesting. Jason tells a joke. Totally quirky, totally unexpected, and Danielle laughs. Real laugh, not the nervous giggle. And suddenly the ice is melting. They talk about hobbies, travel, favorite foods. Jason mentions Scotland. Danielle says she loves Ocean City. They bond over the little things. And here's the secret, these little shared interests. They're tiny bridges over the chasm of Danielle's past heartbreak. But of course, it's not perfect. Awkward silence hits. A dropped fork. Danielle trips over her words again. Classic first, date disaster. Not quite. Jason handles it with charm, humor, even teasing just enough to make her smile. Audience, admit it. You're smiling too, aren't you? That tension-release combo is addictive. Quick engagement moment. If you've ever been on a date where a small, awkward moment turned into a huge connection, hit the like button. Danielle's story is proof that the tiniest sparks can light the biggest fires. Here's the kicker. Halfway through the date, Danielle starts letting her guard down. Just a little. She talks about her past. Yes, Muhammad. Yes, the cruel words. Yes, the heartbreak. But she's choosing trust, just for this moment, just for Jason. And here's a little forbidden knowledge. The moment someone opens up about past pain, and it's received with kindness, it can define the future of the relationship. Danielle's bravery. It's the silent hero of this story. And you see it, you feel it, and you're rooting for her. Audience poll, if you were Danielle, would you tell your date about your past heartbreak on the first date, or wait? Comment below. This is where it gets juicy. And just when you think it can't get more intense, is going to take you deeper. First kisses, heart-fluttering moments, and the real question, can Danielle actually trust someone again, or will her past drag her down?